right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Thursdays Live in Simple Kids Program Solutions Group. For those of you on YouTube watching this later, if you're not in the group, join us over on Facebook where you can actually participate in these Facebooks Live, post any kind of questions or comments that you guys might have. These are every Thursday at 11. And right now we're doing a lot of lives around staff because this just seems to continue to be a need for the community. And so we want to answer that need and help you guys get where you want to go. For those who don't know, my name is Charlie, and my wife and I run a company called Kids Program Solutions. We are constantly helping gym owners like yourself who own kids programs scale up their revenue, scale up their staffing solutions, build out their time, increase their impact in the community. And we make these videos in an attempt to create value in our community for people like yourself to engage and take advantage of that value in hopes that maybe one day we build a relationship and can work with you on a more intimate basis of one-on-one coaching, okay? And that's what a lot of our clients have done and achieved a lot of success, like grown their revenue, grown their teams, managed to resolve a lot of it lately has been a fun thing for me, which is resolving the staff components for a lot of these teams, which is getting rid of those toxic individuals, getting rid of those members who aren't really bought in, and helping you find a team that's going to be ready to rock and roll and build the vision that you always had in mind when you opened up your kids program. So in an effort today to continue our want to provide value for that, okay, we're going to be talking about working together, achieving more, the secrets to effective team cooperation. There's a lot of ones out there. There's a lot of great tips on this, and this is constantly a dance, and it's a dynamic thing where each team has a little bit more of a particular dynamic that you need to embrace. But today, these are going to be some kind of general, as you guys like to know, I like to add in stuff that you can do right away that can provide value into your program, that can provide problem solving right into your program right away, okay? And so these are things that you need to have immediately. And let me tell you this, guys, when you want to implement these type of things into your program, it's always best to inform your staff as to what you're going to be doing and why you're doing it, because that helps them get on board with it. If they understand the what and the why, they're way more likely to embrace the strategy as opposed to just watch the strategy being implemented and then not really participate in the solution, okay? So let's talk about some tips today. Some of these are going to be obvious to some of you, and some of them may not be, okay? But these are important foundations to get started with. So as you guys know, clear communication, okay? And what do I mean by that, all right? And you're like, oh, Charlie, I know clear communication. Okay, look, you have to make sure that you are using, there's the old acronym SMART, right? Which is essentially to say that you're trying to make clear, concise goals that are measurable, they're accurate, you can read them, you can essentially report them. And so what you want to do with your communication when you're trying to build an effective team is to ensure that the communication cycles that you're using leaves people feeling like they have a clear understanding of how to operate without you there providing constant feedback. Like, you should feel like you are able to give the goal to them, and the staff member should also feel like once you're done communicating, they don't need to speak to you anymore in order to make that goal happen, okay? So as team leader, make sure you set the expectations for communication early on. Encourage your team to express themselves honestly and transparently. Make sure that everyone is on the same page by repeating instructions and expectations to ensure everyone is clear. Give them what your expectation is and then say, hey, can you do me a favor? Just repeat back to me what you believe the expectation to be. And then they will provide you what they believe the expectation to be. And if they heard you properly, then you'll like what they say. Okay, use a shared workspace for effective collaboration. That's just to say, when you are creating your communication cycles and then you're using your workspace, all right, you want to use a shared workspace so that people can have that conversation amongst one another instead of like individual rooms. I understand that for individual teams that might be good, like a sales team, marketing team, I get that. But in terms of like, for most of you, your kids program, your coaches, like, don't separate it out and be like, these coaches over here, these coaches over there. Just have all your coaches together, because most of the time your facility is working as one whole team to achieve one whole goal, okay? So clear communication. Number 2, trust. Okay, I know that a lot of you, again, would probably say, duh, okay, this is obvious. But the thing is like, we take for granted trust in our organization all the time. And that is why you have such a hard time getting your staff to believe you when you say you're going to make the changes that you're going to make. And so this will manifest itself in a few ways, okay? Is your staff will, for example, when you ask them to do something and they don't do it, there is a low level of trust. Why? Because there's probably no accountability, right? And so accountability is an offshoot of trust, in the sense that they trust that you are going to hold them accountable, and they know that you trust in them to get the work done. So there needs to be that trust between you and your team, and if it's not there, you have to be honest. You as a leader have to be dependable, right? And transparent in all your communications. I see a lot of you giving yourself the out because you're the leader of the organization and you get a special set of parameters on which you get to govern yourself, and your staff don't get those same parameters. Well, don't be surprised that when you give yourself special exceptions and special expectations, that your staff don't trust you, that they don't believe you, right? Because they know that eventually you can just change the rules. It's like a king saying that, well, this is a hard, fast rule for everybody except for me. And it's like, well, then it's not really a good rule at all. It's just you being the boss of everybody. So what you people want to do is they want to unify behind a principle, okay? And use the leader or helping set those principles and engage them. But you yourself have to be held accountable to those principles. If you institute a principle and you say, I am the principal, then it doesn't have the same effect as you saying, hey, this is the principle I'm enforcing and I'm also following according to this principle, okay? So it's important to provide feedback and praise for good work, as well as willingness to listen to their suggestions. And I would say it's equally as important for your staff to provide feedback, praise for good leadership, as well as willingness to listen to your suggestions, right? So this is a two-way street, right? It's important to have feedback and praise for good work, right? People want to be recognized for doing a good job. But it's also important and you need to have a willingness to hear them out when they're like, hey, if you want me to do a better job, here are the things that I'm going to need from you, okay? All right, so trust, massive. Again, don't take this for granted, guys. So often I see leaders move the goalpost for themselves, but when it comes to others, they're hard and fast on the rule. Don't be that way, okay? Be hard and fast on the rule for yourself. Be hard and fast on the rule for everyone else, because they're going to come to learn that you are dependable because you have principles that you hold yourself accountable to. All right, collaboration. Okay, collaboration is an essential element of effective teamwork. Teams that work well together can brainstorm ideas and solutions together, making the process faster, more efficient, yada, yada, yada. Okay, why am I bringing up collaboration? The number one way to get your staff built into stuff that you are doing is to include them in the process of planning that. Okay, so do you want to have a team that wants to work together and achieve more? Simple. Have everybody sit on the board of designing out the goal, right? You can set the goal as the leader. You set the goal and say, hey, my goal is to increase our students. Okay, that's an ambiguous goal. The amount of how many students in particular you want to improve the program by, your staff can have input on that. Of like, what do you guys think is a reasonable amount of students to try to add to the program? Do you think it's 5 a week? Do you think it's 10 a week, 20 a week, 50 a week? Let them help you come to that conclusion, and then like, does everybody agree, right? And then that's kind of like the people who don't really even know are going to just kind of go along to get along, but the ones who do have an actual valid opinion and input on it are going to be like, yeah, I think 6 is a really reasonable number, right? And so when you put that out there, when you say, hey, collaboration is us working together to establish the goals for the team. I as the leader, I'm setting the direction of the facility, but you guys are going to help me actually set the specific goals that are going to work for us as a team. That will make them feel like they are a part of that and that they own a piece of that goal, and therefore they have to show up and contribute their part to that goal, okay? And it means a lot to them. Just the fact that you would sit down in a meeting and ask them what you think, asking them, what do you think is a reasonable goal for the program to grow by, okay? That is going to give you guys a lot more buy-in. Use that collaboration element, and it can be on cleanliness of like, hey, what do you guys think is the best cleanliness schedule? I just want the facility clean. How do we achieve that, right? And so it's important to go in there, set the actual end goal that you want, the overarching goal of clean facility, but the way you actually achieve that, you can do it a myriad of different ways, right? You do one whole day of cleaning. You do multiple tiny days of cleaning. There's a lot of ways to achieve that end goal, okay? And so giving your team the opportunity to help develop the system will make them buy into that system. Okay, I got a couple of little unorthodox ones here. Okay, emphasize the importance of empathy. Okay, emphasize empathy. Okay, so empathy is often overlooked but important aspect of teamwork. Encourage team members to put themselves in each other's shoes and understand each other's perspectives. This can help create more supportive and collaborative team culture where team members feel understood and valued. If you have team members who don't understand each other's job, okay, make them do each other's job for a day, okay? This will go a long way in terms of building camaraderie and culture of being a team, because now they have a better understanding of what their team member is dealing with on a day-to-day basis, right? And it's like there's just what's that show called? It's like Undercover Boss or something like that, where the CEO goes down and they do the hard jobs, the blue-collar jobs for a day, and then they come out of that with a much greater level of appreciation, not only for the job but also of their job to create solutions to make that job easier. And they always come out with great solutions because they were on the front lines. They got to see the job. They got to deal with it. So your staff don't really understand each other's problems. For example, you may have one coach who's always working with your preschoolers, right? Your 3 to 5 year olds. And then you might have another coach who just never does that. They work with nothing but your high class athletes. And they're probably all, maybe they're at odds with one another. Well, maybe you say, hey, as part of this effort, I want you guys to understand what each other are dealing with. So I want one of you to go over here, I want one of you to go over there. Yes, it might be a little chaotic for the day, but it will go a long way if these are two important pieces of your team that you can't afford to have fighting one another and you can't afford to get rid of one of them, right? Then you want to help them see each other's perspective. And maybe just do that on a frequent basis where you have one staff member go see another staff member's shoes, just so that everybody can be on the same page of understanding what exactly their people are up to. Especially this is important for you as a leader. If you don't understand what your people are going through, go stand in their shoes for a while, and I guarantee you, you're going to be, one, looked at as a better leader, and two, you're going to have way better solutions for the problems that they're encountering because now you've experienced that problem firsthand, okay? Experience that problem firsthand, and I promise you those solutions will come. All right, so emphasize the importance of empathy, and you must lead by example. Be empathetic to your people. Understand the problems that they're dealing with. Don't just attack their character, say that they don't have work ethic, say that they're lazy, say that they're dumb, those type of things. You're like, Charlie, I would never do that. Well, people do it all the time, okay? People do it all the time, and then they wonder why people quit or don't want to be on their team or their culture is extremely poor. Do not overlook these little things, guys. These little things make the world of difference to your team, make the world of difference in terms of the overall collaboration effort in your facility. All right, and then one of my favorite ones, incorporate gamification. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, gamification is essentially taking any kind of system that you potentially can and adding game elements like leaderboards, tracking progress, point systems. And in a sense, it's like you're trying to create an interactive experience where the person feels like there's more happening besides just the end goal, right? For example, if you sweep the front, you get 20 points, but if you vacuum the whole floor, you get 50 points, right? And the winner at the end of the month gets a prize, right? And so set up the point scoring system for, like, let's say your cleaning system, so that people are picking up the hard jobs on purpose because they want to be on the leaderboard. They want to have the highest score and they want to get the benefits that come along with it. But then you have to build this out to be an engaging game system that you track, okay? But this is a great and create a fun, engaging team environment where team members feel motivated to work together and achieve success. Yeah, add bonus points where they do it together. There's a myriad of ways you can do it. But ultimately, you're using a game to achieve an end goal that you want to have, right? And you make it a tracking system where they have to turn in points or cards or whatever. And so instead of them seeing it as, oh yeah, I have to turn in my cleaning sheet, it's like, hey, you're not going to get points if you don't turn in your cleaning sheet, right? And so now they're like, oh, well, I don't want to miss out on my opportunity to get points in the game, right? So I'm going to put together my cleaning sheet and turn it in because I want those points to count towards my leaderboard, right? Maybe you update the leaderboard every day. Right? Those type of things are going to go a long way to get your staff on board with an idea and help them kind of work towards it and create kind of a fun, competitive environment of like who can clean better, who can clean more, who can take more of the hard jobs on a more consistent basis, right? And so you create those type of things and maybe even add achievements. You can get crazy with it, right? I have a little bit of background in game design. And so you can have a lot of fun with this while also solving problems of the facilities. Like I said, the cleaning system is a great one where you put together all kinds of scores associated with the cleaning system, and then it'll let your people shoot to be on the top of the leaderboard, and maybe you add bonuses and cash prizes or whatever up, a day off, whatever. You put that kind of fun stuff up in the pot that people are working towards to try to achieve, and you would be shocked at how awesome this kind of stuff motivates people to get after it and make it a lot better. Okay, so let's go back and summarize really quickly. Okay, so number one, clear communication. Why is this one always being brought up? Because so many of you are not working to make sure that your communication is clear, right? You're just giving your people demands, and then you're saying, does that make sense? And everybody goes, yep. And then they turn around like, none of that made sense. Okay, you need to have your people regurgitate to you what you just asked them to do. Be like, okay, cool. If that made sense, real quick, explain to me what I asked you to do, right? And then they tell you, and be like, yep, that's exactly what I said. Good job. Or they'll be like, oh, you'll be like, okay, so you didn't know, right? And so what this will do is this kind of coaxes them to give you the truth, the honesty behind it, because they know that you're going to verify that they do in fact understand what you're asking them to do, that they do in fact understand the overall request and what it is you're trying to accomplish. Number two is trust. Okay, trust means being honest, dependable, and transparent in your communications. Be honest, be dependable, be transparent. Okay, be honest, dependable, and transparent. I know a lot that are not transparent. I know a lot that aren't dependable, and I know a lot that are not honest. And that means holding yourself accountable to the same set of communication standards that you're providing people to begin with. So set up that clear communication, be trustworthy, and you will build trust into your team. Set up collaboration. Let your team help develop the goals so they have a sense of ownership in those goals. And then number four, emphasize the importance of empathy. Try to get your team members to see the perspective from other team members' perspectives, right? So that way that they're much more empathetic to the position that these other team members are coming from. And if they don't know, baptize them by fire and put them in that position so that they can feel what it's like to have to do that job for a day, so that they're way more open to the solutions necessary for that position. Okay, ignorance is bliss. So let's remove the ignorance and let them experience the pain that those people are experiencing so that they get it. Okay, and then incorporate gamification. Do not limit your creativity with this, right? Have a great time, have a fun time, make awesome games, but take the game seriously. Okay, you need to be dependable with your games, meaning you track them, you set up the standards. Don't just make them and then leave them alone. You need to make them. You need to make them serious. Your team's only going to take them as serious as you take it. Okay, so if you make something, if you make a system like a game for cleaning, for coaching, for whatever, right, training, whatever you want to say, right, you need to be dependable and you need to take that system seriously so that your team takes it seriously as well. I promise you, if you incorporate these 5 pieces into your team, you are going to be going a long way to create a really powerful team that is going to attack the goals that you have set out for them as a leader, and they're going to work to cover your back, especially in times when you don't really know what's coming. They're going to be your boots on the ground, your eyes in the battlefield at the front lines to tell you what's coming and what needs to happen in order to adjust appropriately for that coming. Okay, cool. All right, so that's today's live, guys. I hope you guys found value in today's live. If you did, do me a favor, comment below what you found value in. And for those of you who are curious about taking those next steps with us to find out more, what we do is we do a strategy call with you where we talk to you about your business and about our program, okay? And it's kind of looking to see if, it's a date, as it were, to see if it's a good fit. If you're interested in doing that, we'll have a link here for you guys to schedule a call in the comment section below. And in addition, one other major announcement. For those who didn't see, we launched our new program, Staff Scaling Secrets, and that has all kinds of goodies like this in there, and they're way more practical with done-for-you templates for like, how do I get applicants? How do I screen those applicants? How do I interview those applicants? What is the staff system that you've used, Charlie? How does that look for flex coaches, anchor coaches, head coaches, program directors? What's the scorecards? There's all kinds of stuff in there to help kind of ease out your staffing problems. If that is something you're interested in, we will also have, look in the group for the link on that. We're also going to be promoting it. We open up spots to it because we do have limited availability because we do one-on-one coaching in that program as well. It's just a little less coaching than our main coaching program. I know that was 2 kind of confusing things, but trust me, it'll make sense when you see them. But we do offer money-back guarantees on both our program because we believe in what we are providing you guys. So if you found value in that and you guys want to do more, go check those out. That's a great way. And in the meantime, if you just want to watch, that's cool too. We'll see you every week, Thursday at 11. We'll be covering more stuff like this. I think the next one I'm going to do, I'm going to switch it up and maybe talk about staff bonuses for you guys. Okay, so I know that that's been a question for a lot of people. So, and then maybe after that, discipline, because I know that's been one too. So be on the lookout for that awesome stuff. You guys are amazing. Thank you for your time. We are looking forward to helping you guys in the future. Be on the lookout in the group for more awesome stuff, fun posts that are just providing value to you guys on how to incorporate and make an amazing team, or just increase revenue or generate more leads. You never know. We're going to switch it up on you guys. So in the meantime, God bless. You guys have a great day. Thanks for your time.